I was the only Mexican there, and practically, there was everybody else was black, right? So it was what I got myself into. So I just went along with it. But I always been into black culture. Like I always been into hip hop culture. That was something that really changed my life too. Like hip hop culture, I really appreciated hip hop culture. So when I got to Carbonation, it was like it was cool. I enjoyed it. There was things that I didn't agree with that I voiced early on, but it was just like I saw what it was gonna be there. Like I saw that it was gonna be. It wasn't gonna be what I wanted. It was gonna be what he wanted, and so I was just like, I'm not gonna resist that. I'm not gonna come here and try to change somebody else's reality, So that's what I did. I just kind of like sat there. With the shit I agreed with and what I could use, and I just kind of sat there, never really voicing my opinion again. Because since that moment, like I stopped voicing my opinion because he basically just shut me down and didn't let me get my explanation on what I thought was right, So I stopped voicing my opinion. So, when it comes to the relationship with Serenity, there was no like gravitational like, and everybody knows that, right? Like everybody knows that. Like I feel like people have seen it. Like I always seen comments like she don't really love him, or they don't really like each other like that, So even when we first met, like it wasn't nothing like that. I was too focused anyways on the mission, and I wasn't trying to be disrespectful by looking at somebody, because she was with Nature Boy at the time. So I wasn't trying to be disrespectful by looking at her or anybody else that that I wasn't for me to be looking at. But like a couple of days later, he came up to me and they came up and talked, and basically he said he felt some type of energy between us, and that we like she was interested. And I was like, nah, like I'm not, like, I think she's beautiful, but like I would never do that. That's disrespectful. Like it's not even, I wouldn't even try that. So, we kind of left it at that. And I felt like he never truly believed that. He always kind of believed that I wanted to be with her, but that was really not my intention personally. I could say like we never really gravitated towards that. We never had that connection, that vibe. Like there was nothing natural about it. It always kind of felt forced. It was always forced, and it's kind of like an arranged marriage, really, when you look at it. Like in India, they do arranged marriages. That's what it's really like. It was kind of like, I mean, it wasn't forced, but it was suggested heavily that we get together and that we come together, and at the time everybody was, basically coupling up. So that was just the mindset at the time, and we ran with it. So, you know exactly what it is all the time. You know exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You know exactly the actions you're supposed to take, but we prolong shit. We prolong certain decisions we have to make, or, whatever we have to address, we prolong it because we don't want to deal with it. But the longer you put it off, the worse it gets. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse because it just be building up. It turns into this ugly thing that you don't want to look at because you already know it's bad, but the longer you don't look at it, the uglier it's going to get. So we kept trying to be together. We would, break up and then come together again. But it was never like a solid thing where, we have an idea about love, right? Like people fall in love and it's a match and stuff, but it was nothing like that. It was more like of a purpose, like, oh, you guys come together because we're in the same group and we have the same mission, and so it makes sense, So I think that initially should have been a red flag. We should have not allowed that to continue, but many times we had many opportunities, man. We had many opportunities, but we kept skipping it. We kept prolonging it, or we kept coming back together for whatever reasons. Maybe insecurities, didn't want to be alone, or just having somebody to, be with when you're in a nice environment, a dope situation. It just feels like you want to have somebody close to you, So, you know, when she got pregnant, it was like, oh shit, like this is real now, like it's becoming real. And at the time, like Carbonation was teaching about, like if you're holy, like you don't have children, basically. Like if you're pure, like you won't be able to have children and get pregnant. But then the conversation switched up, of course, when Eliana got pregnant. So I felt like there was some bias there, for sure. I would be like, oh, I definitely, you know, said that to myself at least. You know, the perspectives changed when, you know, it became personal to him. So we went along. She went along with her pregnancy and stuff, and it's like, I'm just so thankful. Like Zen is such a pure, innocent, like little baby. Of course, you know, I mean, all children are innocent, but it's just he's just so pure. When I look into his eyes and when I see his actions, I just feel like, you know, he's just so pure. Like he hasn't been tainted with any of the shit that a lot of us have been tainted with. So definitely, you know, like he has my heart, and I want what's best for him, and I want to see him thrive and grow, you know. But here's what people don't understand, that like certain people resonate with certain things. Like you might not understand it or you might not get it because it's not for you, but you can't take that away from somebody else who it is for. So it's like I can't and I won't stop anybody's growth and progress and happiness ultimately, because who am I to do that? Like I'm not a tyrant. I'm not a fucking dictator. I'm not that, you know, because I wouldn't want nobody to stop that from myself. So why should I go somewhere else and try to stop that from somebody else? And at the end of the day, it's just about growth, man. It's about growth. We trying to grow. Like if you ain't on this mission where like you looking at yourself, like there's definitely shit that I did. It's like I'm responsible for this. Like I'm no victim. Like I know what I was doing. Like I'm fully aware and conscious, but I'm gonna take this L. Like this is kind of like an L for me. Like but it's a L is really like a lesson, you know. It's still a lesson to grow from. You everything in your life and your reality is to grow from. And if you don't understand that, then you don't understand life. You could keep trying to be the victim, and that's the problem with a lot of us, that we just have, we so easily fall into the victim mentality where we're trying to blame people and blame somebody else and point the finger, but it's you, man. You do it to yourself. You are where you are right now because of yourself. It ain't nobody else's fault. If you don't have the shit you want to have, it's because of you. It ain't because of nobody. If you in a situation where you got children from somebody that you don't really fuck with like that, it's because of you. It's all because of you. I can't point the finger at nobody else. Like I'm the one that did it. It don't matter if somebody suggested it heavily. Okay, fucking hold your ground. Like you don't want that. Like do what you want to do. Don't let people influence you. Don't let people suggest shit and you just go along with it because you being a follower. No, like I made the choices I made, and I'm reaping the repercussions of that shit. Now, like I'm experiencing that. What I gotta experience is a fucking struggle. It's a challenge because it's a challenging situation. Okay, like when children come involved, it's like it's a whole different thing. Like I feel like it's not about you anymore. It's about the children, right? Like you want to do what's best for the child, you know. And at the same time, you want to do what's best for you too. And you want to make sure you're the healthiest and you're the best and you're the happiest and you're the most on point for your child could see you and he could emulate those characteristics. He could be the best, most authentic, real version of himself and just thrive in whatever he does and just know who he is. If you ain't that, it don't matter where you at. It don't matter if your parents are together. If you ain't that, he's going to just see and replicate and mirror whatever he sees in his reality. So if I put him in a situation where he's in a household where people are not getting along, where they're just not vibing together, there's this constant tension in the air, and the people are heading two different directions, that's a volatile situation for that child. That child is going to be lost. He's going to be confused. He's not going to grow up and develop as well as he could if he was in a home where the parents got along, where the parents were just on the same page, headed towards the same direction. So that's what you got to understand. As much as I would love to, that everything would have been perfect, that everything would have worked out. I mean, everything is working out the way it's supposed to, but we have an idea of relationships where it's like the people love each other and it's just perfect, and there's all romance, and but it's just ain't that, man. This is different. This is a learning relationship. This is the type of relationship that you really grow from, and that makes you grow. Like, you don't have no choice. You got to grow because it puts you in situations that you have no other choice but to grow. So I know everybody's been messaging me like, are you going to keep Zen? Are you going to keep your son? And it's just like, I don't know what's going to happen, man. I don't know what is going to happen. But I know that everything's going to work out. And I know that everything's going to be fine. And in the end, everything's going to align the way it's supposed to. And I know you guys don't see it now. I know it just seems like it's so simple, right? Like, but you're not seeing what I'm seeing. And that's all I can say. You don't see life through the spiritual lenses. You see life through right, and he's wrong, and that person hurt me, and he's doing this harm. I don't see life like that. I don't see life like that. Life, to me, the purpose of life is to grow. The purpose of life is to come here and do the shit that you don't want to do. The reason that people want me to do the shit that I want to do, because it makes them feel comfortable about their life. If I do what they tell me to do, then they're in a position where they're doing the right thing, but they know damn well they're not. Most people know that they're damn well not living the life they're supposed to be living. You're not free. You're not free. You're just prolonging. Like I've been doing this whole time. You're prolonging what you're supposed to be doing. You're prolonging it. And the longer you prolong it, the worse it'll get, and the harder it'll get. And the more repercussions you'll have from that, from not doing what you're supposed to be doing. It don't matter if you're supposed to be teaching or if you're supposed to be, growing food, being a farmer. I don't care. It's just about what resonates with your soul. And you can't take that away from somebody. And you can't ask me to take that away from somebody. So, I don't expect people to understand what will happen, because they already don't understand what's happening. They don't understand life, so why would they understand life a month from now, 2 months from now? It's not about lessons for people. They're just trying to be the victim. They're just trying to pick who they could, throw in jail, pick who they could criticize, but they never, ever point the finger at themselves. They never look in the mirror and be like, wait, maybe all of that shit is just me. Maybe all of that shit is just how I feel about myself. If I'm hating on somebody, maybe it is because that's how I feel about myself. Maybe there's shit that I need to work on. And that's definitely true for myself. There's so much confusion in me. There's so much insecurities. There's just who I see myself to be and who I really am at this very moment isn't the same person. I see and believe that I am more than I actually am at this moment. And the problem with that is that you could never become who you want to become or who you're supposed to become if you think you're already there. If you think that you already made it, then you're never going to make it. And so I had to realize that, man. I had to come to terms with that. And that's one of the hardest things for me, is just having that realization, because I have this prideful way about me that I want to feel a certain way about myself, and I want people to see me a certain way, and I want people to perceive me in a certain light. But I ain't there yet, man. I ain't there yet. I'm still figuring it out. I'm still figuring myself out. And so, y'all could say whatever you want, man. If you feel that maybe what's in me is in you too. Maybe you believe more of yourself than you are right now. Maybe you feel like you got it figured out. Maybe you feel like you figured out life, right? And you're trying to tell me, like, bro, you stupid. Like, oh my God, like, you just another pawn. Like, you just, like, wow, like, you're so weak. Or he's got you brainwashed. Or you still under the program. Like, you could tell me all that stuff. Like, you could say it to me. But at the end of the day, what's in me is in you too. And until you're ready to come to terms with that, you're not going to understand life. And you're not going to see situations like as a catalyst to make you grow. Like, damn, I'm on camera, man. I was not this person 2-3 years ago. I was doing pre-records and I was talking with the soft boys, and like, I changed. If I'm weak, then you're weak too. Because whatever you see in me is in you. That's the reason you can see it so clearly, man. When something bugs the shit out of you, it's because you are that too. You weak, bro. You weak. You seeing it in me because you weak. But I'm personally, I don't have any intentions to go back to carbonation. I just don't feel like that's where I'm supposed to be at. And I'm okay with that, you know. I'm at peace with where I'm at right now. My only prerogative right now is to stay focused and not lose the mission that I woke up to, not lose becoming a better person, not lose growing, you know. And I feel so bad for people who ain't on that mission, man, because it's like, why are you even here? Why are you even listening to this? Without that, like a lecture, like you said, I'm going to a carbonation lecture. No, it's a self-improvement lecture. It's a life lecture. It's a spirituality lecture. This shit is everywhere. Bro, have you not been on the internet? Have you not seen everybody talking about this kind of shit? Like, you're so close-minded, you don't realize what this is, bro. Like, everybody needs to go through this road to improve humanity. You don't get it. You just so focused on him, on Nature Boy, carbonation. You're so focused, you don't fucking get it, bro. Like, there's so much information on the internet, bro. I just gave you a couple of resources without even trying, and you don't even check this shit out because you're so focused. You're so focused on this situation. You're like, anything that they talk about is not true. But there's so many people talking about it before them, after them. There will always be people, because this is something that the whole world has got to awaken to. Like, unless we look at ourselves, how are we supposed to heal? How are we like, you go Teal Swan, Infinite Waters, Esther Hicks, Bashar, you got some dude named Cryon, you got Nature Boy, you got all these people. Like, they're just symbols in your reality trying to show you, like, bro, look at yourself. Like, you're not looking at yourself. You're ignoring your own issues, your own things that's wrong with you, and you're bypassing that and just choosing to look at the things that are you perceive to be wrong in other people as an excuse to not work on yourself. You don't see that shit? You don't see that shit? It's so clear. It's so fucking clear, man. Like, I'm just thankful I could see it, man. I pray that one day you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear what I'm talking about. Everything's gonna be fine. Everything is gonna be perfect. This is the game we signed up for, man. This is the game. Like this is what it's about, man. If you ain't doing this kind of work, you can eat whatever you want, man. You can live wherever you want. It's irrelevant. If this ain't where your sights are set, to be so vulnerable in front of the world, to not care, because it's not about that. It's about the mission. It's about bettering yourself. Because when you better yourself, you better humanity. When you heal yourself, you heal the world. You heal your family. You heal the people around you. You heal your children. You heal your ancestors. You actually honor your ancestors, because that's within you. You are that. You came out of that. It's one and the same. There's no separation. And I'm just so thankful that I could see it. Like, even as far as I try to stray away from the path, try to ignore it, I always come back to it. Because this is who I am. This is what I was born for. Like, this is why I'm here. Like, I'm here to change myself. That's how I change the world. And, you know, you could judge me for whatever. I'm not flawless. Like I came with many flaws. I'm more flawed than a lot of people. But like I'm still trying. Like I'm still gonna do the work regardless. It don't matter what people think about me, because I know it's irrelevant. Most people are just watching just to watch for entertainment. Like, I'm doing this for myself, for my son, for the world. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, and if you're not doing that, then you're the problem. That's the problem. Us not doing what we know we're supposed to be doing. If everybody was doing exactly what they know they're supposed to be doing, the world wouldn't have any problems. There would be no issues. But because we don't respond to that voice, to the call of righteousness, like of doing what we know we're supposed to be doing, that's the reason why there's so much unbalance, you know. It doesn't take, you don't have to try to change the world. All you got to do is change yourself. That's the only way you can ever change the world. Anybody tell you anything different, then they're lying. So, yeah, that's my spiel, man. I had to give it to y'all. But that's how I feel. That's basically what's happening. It's just breaking down, man. Just to break down, to build yourself back up even stronger. Like, I'm weak. I'm not who I think I am. And the only way I could ever even try to get there is if I realize that I'm not that. So, man, it is what it is. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. I hope you got a little something from this, man. I hope I inspired like a shift in perspective. Maybe one day you'll wake up. Maybe one day you'll wake up to that same mission, that same realization that I woke up to once, and it'll just change your life. That's facts. Absolutely. Yeah, so that's just what I want for y'all. If you listening, I just hope, you know, I hope you awake to that. Thanks for listening. All right, stay balanced.